Hello, Durud and Shalom. We be live.
Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking to you guys in a continuation about the Israel-Lebanon conflict that is still going on, even though there's technically supposed to be a ceasefire, the actual situation in the Strait of Hormuz, what is happening in Russia, in Moscow, and how this all affects Iran. There's also a couple of things that we will describe to you that happened in Iran. We can't show you the videos because YouTube will take us down, but let's get started. And as always, we will be answering your guys' questions at any point, so feel free to ask. So, Armin, have you heard anything today in particular from your live streams? Anything that you thought it was interesting?
I mean, I don't even know where to start. Yes, first of all, those videos that you're telling, you mentioned, I wish I could share them, but we could post them on X and we could link people to it because
Yes, we
they
can.
are very revealing. So, well, once we get to that, I'll tell you what Sohail said about them because I could read what his interpretation is from inside Iran. But yeah, I'm just waiting for you to go through it so that once we get to that point, we could discuss that.
Well, we can just say it now, so then when we post it on our X, people can go and take a look. But basically, in these videos, it's body cam footage of the Basiji and the IRGC troops that are shooting at people. Obviously, we can't show this because there's guns, but I have reposted it on my X at least, and I'll repost it again. Armin will as well. So if you guys want to go check that out, it's about 1.5 to 2 minutes of them coordinating with each other on how to best murder Iranian people.
So this was from early January. We got some footage from body cam from the people who were killing Iranians, right? And because there's guns involved, we cannot show it to you on YouTube. But you are maybe link to your X in the chat, so for people who want to go watch it, yeah, link it in the chat so people could watch it. But while Ali does that, you're muted. But while Ali does that, let me tell you, my friend Sohail, this is what he said regarding his observation regarding these videos. He said, these are the videos recorded from the Special Forces uniforms showing their actions on January 8th and January 9th. So when they were killing Iranians in tens of thousands inside Iran. And he continues by saying, this footage shows indications that these individuals cannot adequately operate their own weapons and ammunition, to the point where they even fired tear gas towards themselves. They don't even know how to use the Winchester shotgun, I don't know if I read that right, properly to prevent it from jamming. It is clear they are unfamiliar with the weapon. Is that the sense that you got, Ali, as well, from the videos?
Absolutely. They kept complaining about how they were suffering from the tear gas themselves rather than the protesters. And they kept telling people behind them, don't stand behind me, don't stand behind me, because he didn't want to get hit by his own colleague there. So yeah, these guys are absolutely amateurs, but all it took was for them to just stand there and start shooting at people, unarmed people, which is why arming them is a pretty viable option going forward.
That's a very good point, given how bad these people are. So they managed to get tens of thousands of people killed, even though they're so bad at guns, just because the other side is unarmed, right? So that means that if the Iranian people with just a little bit of a training would be able to defeat such a force.
Yep, exactly. Guys, I just reposted it again on my profile if you guys want to go take a look. You don't have to listen to the audio. It's all in. Oh, that post has been deleted. Oh, interesting.
What?
That's why. Here, I found another one. Here we go. Okay. It's on the profile. If you guys want to go take a look, it's direct body cam footage. Might be a little disturbing, but there's no direct, like you can't see anyone actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
In addition to that,
so guys, follow Ali on his X. I'll put his X account in the chat. Follow him for stuff like that. All right, go on.
Yeah, thank you. So also, additionally, in the Strait of Hormuz, the IRGC are broadcasting a audio message to ships saying that because of the conflict in Israel and Lebanon, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Return back to where you came from, or we can't guarantee your safety. Is the price of oil still going to plummet, President Trump? They are breaking their promise not even 24 hours after you guys signed it. I mean, this was happening all of yesterday as well. So I am interested to see what the response will be on that. Additionally, we want to talk about the nuclear issue. We have a clip here from Fox News that gave a pretty interesting confirmation. Now, this is, again, one of those things that the regime is going to drag their feet on every chance they get. But Fox News is already broadcasting this, and I don't know if this is going to be a, one of those things that they're just claiming or what. So let's see.
And this just in. Witkoff just briefed Congress that Iran's inviting the International Atomic Energy Agency to come inspect its nuclear sites and uncover the enriched material. This is big. The Iranians have also agreed that U.S. nuclear inspectors would be allowed into the country. That's huge. On day one, we're already getting somewhere, hopefully. These are good signs.
But that is all they are, signs, and they are words.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Exactly.
I want to see Americans on Iranian soil going out and getting the uranium out. If that happens, we are in a new chapter in the history of Iran. Like that would be the new chapter of the fall of the Islamic Republic if that happens. But this is like them saying that, you having somebody within the Islamic Republic, just somebody saying like, hey, yeah, we want you to do that. Like that is not news. That is not news. You're going to be able to find many people within the Islamic Republic saying all sorts of things. So this is not news until it actually happens.
Guys, they've done this before, by the way. They've invited IAEA inspectors before. They would just hide stuff. And I know some of you are saying, oh, what about this time? They're just going to do that again? Actually, this time we know where the enriched uranium is. It's buried underneath one of 3 sites. So we go in and we uncover it and we dilute it and we inspect it. So first we send inspectors to confirm that everything's there before we actually send more technical people to go in and dilute it or remove it, whatever they choose to do with it. So they're going to drag their feet on this. Day one, it seems like they told Witkoff. I mean, Witkoff believes anything and everything that the Islamic Republic tells him, so this is not a surprise to me. But whether or not they actually have people go into Iran, that's the first sign that things are actually changing. And guys, no, they can't downblend the uranium themselves because they can't even get to it. They don't have the technology to reach that uranium and dilute it themselves or remove it out. There's only 2 countries in the world that can do it, China and the U.S. Here is the next big thing. Got some big indicators. Today, there are over 14 or probably 15 refueling tankers active over the Middle East, which is 15 more than there was a few days ago. A few days ago, when Armin, you're muted, it says. A few days ago,
sorry, guys.
Sweet. A few days ago, when the agreement was signed, there was actually 0 tankers in the air at one point. Right now, there's a lot. And then this post is saying that Trump is going to be going to Camp David. This was the same visit that President Trump canceled because there was rain, and he doesn't like going there. But it's basically a military base that's used for strategic planning. And he had a foreign policy team meeting on Iran nuclear issues. in June 2025 at the same base. So that's one indicator of how the nuclear issue could be going forward here. But again, I think that's just something that we have to take a look at. So yeah. What do you think, Armin? Do you think they're going to drag their feet? Because I think they're going to drag their feet.
Which side? Both sides. Probably.
The Islamic Republic is going to drag their feet on the inspections and letting people come in.
I think, here's what I think. I think both sides are interested in delaying right now. I think I think it's possible that I think the chances of military operations will increase significantly after the midterms. We might see, I think it's possible that we see some activity before, but the chances of it seeing, I think United States is interested in delaying this. The Islamic Republic is definitely interested in delaying this. But I think that, the MOU doesn't seem to be getting us closer to a deal, right? And there are just so many obstacles to get to a deal. So I still think it's not over, and I still think that the chances of the military operations coming back at some point, because we're not going to get to a deal, are still high. But I think that but it's not that high before the midterms, and they are high after the midterms.
Did you know that Prince Reza Pahlavi 3 hours ago made a statement about what we can do going forward?
What?
Prince Reza Pahlavi said, in Iran, Iranians are resilient in their fight for freedom. Tens of millions of them continue to organize themselves. We are developing underground networks to be able to achieve that. So here's one of the criticisms for Prince Reza Pahlavi's team. It was that if you guys, some Iranians are saying this, they're saying that if you guys were more competent to support the prince, you would have organized people better during all this time. You would have done this. You would have done that. And it seems like they are taking this criticism pretty well at this point. And also keep in mind, there's only so many legal things that these people can do in supporting Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. It's not like they have military power or any sort of hard power there. So these criticisms should not be being leveled at Prince Reza Pahlavi and his teams. Yeah, regardless, some Iranians are still doing it.
Yeah, I think people don't understand how recently Prince Reza Pahlavi managed to get all of this capital, political capital. It's only recently where his movement is growing this significantly. And also, his political capital shouldn't be used and risked when it's not time for something. I think a lot of people want him to move to a step where if he moves, then because the people are not at that step, he's moving ahead of the people, and then people would not be able to follow. I think every step has to be done properly before we move to the next step. And if a step is not tried and you move to the next step and it fails, then they're going to attack him for moving to that step prematurely.
Exactly. So going back to the status of the negotiations at the moment, what we're hearing is another confirmation, in case some of you didn't hear yesterday, but President Vance canceled his trip to Switzerland for the Iran negotiations. And it seems like this came right after Fars News, Tasnim News, and other such state media, along with audio messages in the Strait of Hormuz by the IRGC, claim that the strait is now closed. At the same time, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi came out and said, we have no idea what you're talking about. The strait is open. It's open. We promise. The IRGC at the same time broadcast messages that it is not open. So a little bit of, political play going on there. Regardless, there's a funny picture going around here that at the Switzerland resort, the Qatari and Swiss delegations have met each other face to face and are having lunch. yet the Islamic Republic and American delegations haven't even left their countries. So some people are here being played. Just funny.
So let me tell you what I think is happening with the Strait of Hormuz. So people are saying they're getting radio messages from IRGC saying move around. Is that correct?
Yeah, multiple.
Do we have the audio from that?
Yeah, I can find it.
So so before you find it, like, let me know what you think about this. I think if I was Ghalibaf, I would be basically telling if I was Ghalibaf and I were trying to survive all of this, okay, I would be telling President Trump this. Like, listen, I have done more than anybody thought is possible. I have managed to get the Supreme Leader to endorse the negotiations before signing of the MOU and only came against it after we signed. I managed to get the IRGC leaders to come and endorse the negotiations. I got the most retarded, jihadi-minded, Durkash crazy mullah in the Islamic Republic, which is Mir Bagheri, come out and endorse the negotiations, right? But I can't control everybody, right? When it comes to the Strait of Hormuz, I'm going to try to do my best for stopping people throwing missiles and drones at the commercial ships, okay? I'm going to try my best, okay? But anybody with a radio system could pick up the radio system and start messaging the commercial ships and telling them to move around. Like, that is hard to stop. Like, there are many people in the IRGC that are not happy about this. I might be able to take their missiles and drones away from them, but I'm not going to be able to hunt down every single IRGC commander all around, the Persian Gulf. I can't hunt everybody down from contacting the captain of ships and telling commercial ships to move around. That is going to be there, right? So you just tell those ships to go through. You just tell those ships to Leroy Jenkins this shit, because they're going to get those messages and I can't stop all the messages. What do you think?
It's a perfect little excuse for him. Exactly, you said. Hey, I can't control these people in the IRGC. They're gonna shoot or say that the strait's closed. But hey,
it's
I'm still your
also
best bet.
true that he can't. I mean, to be fair, he would die if this doesn't work out, right? So he was motivated in letting the commercial ships go through. Like, he doesn't want to go back to war. He could be the next Jalili or Shamkhani if we go to. So he's motivated in making this work. And it's true that he can't really hunt down. This is not about trusting Ghalibaf. This is about understanding that this guy doesn't want to die, right? So, and it's true that he can't just go and stop everybody from within the IRGC. I mean, he's already managed to get Ghani, Abdullahi, Mousavi, and a whole bunch of other people to come out saying like yes to the negotiations. That's a big deal. But there's so many IRGC people out there with not even much higher ranking that were like, fuck this shit. This is the blood of the Supreme Leader being, pissed on. I'm gonna call these ships. I'm gonna message these ships and tell them to move. I don't have any missiles and drones to throw at them, but they don't know that. So I'm gonna just contact them and tell them to turn around.
Which is exactly why the U.S. might keep them around, to start fighting these people in the IRGC or opposing them.
I think the U.S. will just be like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal until the midterms. Okay. And then after the midterms, they're like, okay, let's reevaluate this. Right. I think until the midterms, people like us were going to be annoyed and be like, what the fuck? This is a violation of this. That's a violation of that. And Americans are going to look at him like, we don't think so. Right. And then until the midterms, because President Trump is going to be like, let's not mess with the markets or the isocox or anything until we go past elections, and then after that we'll take another look. So I think from our side, there's going to be a lot of frustration by the things that the Islamic Republic does, and President Trump, the White House, is going to come and says like, "It's how they do ceasefire in the Middle East." Okay. Right. I think that's good. That's what's going to happen.
Unfortunately, I feel my instincts are telling me the same thing, is that these guys are going to try and downplay everything as much as they can, just to buy time. But here's the problem. We just told you guys that the Islamic Republic doesn't want to meet in Switzerland. They canceled their flight. They also are, some of them are broadcasting like this message. Okay. Now we just explained why, but what stops the Islamic Republic from every little time that Israel attacks Lebanon, attacks Hezbollah, for the Islamic Republic to be like, hey, stop. We're not talking anymore. We're not talking anymore. Close the Strait of Hormuz.
So
only a few ships can go by.
So I think the Islamic Republic is gonna. I think both United States and the Islamic Republic are motivated to try to keep some of the people who are under ass happy, because for example, here's what the Islamic Republic Ghalibaf has to do right now. Okay, so Israel attacks Hezbollah. Pro-regime people are like, what the fuck? They're killing our brothers. Go kill some Israelis and Americans. And Ghalibaf is like, the most I could do is not let some ships through, but also I don't want to go full, crazy. And so Ghalibaf is on two phones, okay? So he's like, people are like calling him from the Islamic Republic, what the fuck? Kill some Zionists. And then he calls President Trump like, these people are going to fucking kill me if I don't do something. And Trump is like, don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare. And he's like, guys, it's not like, I don't know what he's going to tell them. He's going to go back to Trump. It's going to be like, you have to give me something. I can't stop these motherfuckers. I'm going to shoot at something, or I'm going to make a statement saying the Strait of Hormuz is closed, but I don't want to go back to war to you. So you understand? Like he's stuck in the middle. He has to give something to the pro-regime people who are especially after the letter from the Supreme Leader. The pro-regime Iranians are going to be like, what the fuck? This MOU was against the order of the Supreme Leader. So he's like, fuck. So if I'm Ghalibaf, I have to somehow keep these people quiet, while also by giving them something anti-American and anti-Israeli, but also not piss off Trump too much, because I don't want him to go back to military operations, because I don't want to die. Here's the thing, Ali. As Ghalibaf, I also understand that it seems like President Trump really doesn't want to do anything before the midterms. So maybe I could give more to the pro-regime people. Maybe I could be a little bit more annoying to the Americans and Israelis just to keep them happy, because it seems like President Trump has already made up his mind that not much is going to happen before the midterms, right? But President Trump also doesn't want him to think that, because then he will become too emboldened and too confident that he could be annoying to the Americans and Israel. So he would like, you do it. Like, don't you fucking do it. I'm going to kill you. There are other people I could talk to. There are other people with there's nobody. You already killed everybody. Okay. You already killed everybody. There's nobody else to talk to. And President Trump could be like, what about that Rouhani guy? What about that Zarif guy? I could talk to them. So don't you fucking dare annoy me. I'll kill you just like I killed the people before you, and I'll move on to the next person. So there's all that. I think those are the conversations that are happening behind the scenes.
If we know that, then Rouhani and Zarif and all these other people also definitely know that.
That's why Rouhani is out and talking again. They're like, pick me, Trump. I'm here. If Ghalibaf doesn't give you what you want, I'm here, right? So he's already playing pick me. I don't know.
So these are the internal fractures. Now let's see how they play each other to take advantage. Ah, man.
So yeah, people don't notice this because Pezeshkian just came out and said like, yeah, negotiations are good. I'm like, okay, whatever. But like, but if you're paying attention, you would say like, wait, Pezeshkian, like Rouhani wasn't around. So Rouhani came out and said, yeah, good negotiations. I'm endorsing that. And like, so people ignore that as not that important of a news. But what's actually happening is Rouhani not speaking for a long time, and all of a sudden he came out of the woods, and he's like, I'm also here. Hello. So let me see if I could find that.
After you find that, we have a alligram, as some of you like to call it, from the Telegram.
Okay,
that the regime
we should do
supporters
the
use.
super chats before we should
Do
do
it.
super chats first before we do that. Okay, so let's go through that, and I'll find what I have to.
All right. Jahangiri Victor has become a YouTube member. Welcome and thank you.
Woohoo! Thank
As
you.
well
One of
as-
us. One of us.
As well as Amir the Cricket gifting 5 Liberty Politics memberships. Thank you, Amir.
Thank you for the gift.
So kind. And with our super chat here from Shauna saying, America beat Australia in the European sport ball house party we're throwing, as in the World Cup. Australia has been beaten by the United States of America in the World Cup. I think this happened like an hour ago or something.
Shana, be careful. It seems like you're starting to care about this sport that you tell us that you don't care about.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, Shana, what's happening here? You kept on telling me that you don't care about this. It seems like you're following it too closely.
These
Suspicious.
Europeans.
Yes.
And Jahangiri Victor again, who says, Ali, you are very intelligent and also a vicious monster. And that is needed.
True. Oh my God. Wow, Ali, he sees right through you. Okay, he sees right through you. Like all of that.
What can I say? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like he's also a vicious monster because it probably takes one to know one.
Yes, true. I think
I don't know about monster. I would say vicious for sure. When it comes to my
you guys are dangerous. We have to be careful.
You should elect me for office in the future, by the way.
Ooh.
I definitely didn't get radicalized by January 8th and 9th.
Oh shit.
I
think it would be dangerous if you put Ali the head of Savak. Oh no.
No, it wouldn't be. No, it wouldn't.
No.
You know,
what would be a job?
Okay, so one of the things that I would I don't know, probably say in the sort of campaign is I think that consequences are very much needed in this world, and I don't think we have enough. So, like, if you commit crimes and you keep on committing them, you should not just be arrested and let go and arrested and let go. Or if you have some certain crimes that the magnitude of which is really high, you shouldn't just be given like parole or be able to be bailed out like for money, like, you know, stuff like that. Like, I think I'm very much a proponent of very harsh punishment, not only for physical crimes like assault or, you know, stuff like that, but I'm also very much a proponent of things like bribery, like very, very harsh crimes, very harsh punishments for bribery, money laundering, all of the white collar crimes that people do in offices and with money and stuff. I'm very much a proponent of cracking down on those. I do not want to see those. And if it takes, you know, if it literally takes bringing someone who stole millions of dollars from taxpayers in Iran in the future and parading him around the streets in public, if that's what it takes for other people to not do it again, because the next time they think of, you know, stealing money from the government or doing something or, you know, assaulting someone, if that's the punishment, if it's public punishment or if it's very severe, they're not going to do it. These people who are in these like deep states, if they knew that they would get completely exposed and publicly paraded around, or or capital punishment, even execution, if they knew that's what's going to happen to them, they would never do it, ever.
Leo is saying parade them around in their undies, apparently.
Very kind of you, Leo. Very kind of you. And yeah, that's just one of the things. So, like the British, like what just happened in England. They just found out that the 250,000 girls over a period of time were raped by these what was it? I think they were Pakistanis, right? Like 15 people or something like that.
Oh my god.
Or it might be more. And like that should never be allowed to happen. It shouldn't have been even 2 people. At that one offense that they committed, that crime, they should have been taken care of to the utmost degree. Because what ends up happening is, for the last few decades, in my opinion, what we've seen is that there's a lot of loopholes in the legal system for you to get out of the consequences of crimes. And look what happened over the past few decades. Look at how much crime has skyrocketed. Anyway, I just don't want a new and free Iran to have to go through that thing, that kind of cycle.
Yeah.
And we have another super chat from Jahan Gidi Victor. Very kind of you.
Thank you.
I would say 50-50 split of the oil in Iran, and U.S. forces will make sure Hormuz is open, and that gives them the same power IRGC is trying to enforce on the world. However, the U.S. would make sure to uphold the law in a good win-win. I think he's saying that the Strait of Hormuz should be joint custody by the U.S. and Iran, which, I mean, I think it has been at this point. But we kind of see what that is like, where not a lot of ships get to go through. So I don't know what the solution is here. The regime's never going to let go of this power. This is the only thing they have left.
But the IRGC, let me see, that gives them the power, that same power IRGC is trying to enforce on the world. However, the U.S. would make sure to uphold the law and could. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're suggesting that the Americans should stay there to make sure they use force to make sure that ships go through the Strait of Hormuz, instead of just relying on the Islamic Republic saying so, if that's what you're saying, I agree with that. I hope the American military assets don't leave the area, because if they leave the area, as soon as they leave, the Islamic Republic is going to go back to its old ways around the Strait of Hormuz. So I do hope that they keep their military assets around there, for sure.
Yeah, thank you for that. And the next one, we have Angry Keyboard Warrior saying, oh, this is going to be controversial. But how can the Iranian people be armed if they and the Kurdish militias in Iraq can't even cooperate? Maybe Reza Pahlavi and CPFIK, the Kurdish communist separatists, could come to a compromise. I don't think that'll ever happen, ever. Not, at least not in this universe.
Those are separatist groups, and they are anti-Iranian, and they hate Iran. And if Prince Reza Pahlavi even suggests, even looks in their way, and even if he suggests any positive feelings toward them for half a second, he would lose his credibility among the Iranian people forever. So the Iranian people can be armed. Like, why would the Iranian people be armed through their enemies? These separate, like, first of all, I don't want to call these people Kurdish. Let's call them Kurdish, because again, remember, Kurdish Iranians are patriotic and pro Pahlavi and pro the border integrity of Iran. And this would be offensive to Kurdish Iranians if we ever work with these people. These people are a bunch of communist terrorists, and if any anything that strengthens them weakens Iran. Like the Iranian people hate these people more than they hate the Islamic Republic. They hate these people more than they hate the Islamic Republic. So if there is any attempt by Prince Reza Pahlavi to work with them, they would consider Prince Reza Pahlavi to be working with the enemies of Iran.
Yeah. The Kurdish separatists are not the Iranian people's friends. They're their enemies. They would massacre the Iranian people on a similar level if they could. If they had to do it, they would do it.
They say it. They say it. And they say they hate Iran and they hate the Iranian people, and they call Iranian people fascists, and they say that they want to tear Iran apart. So working with them is working against Iran. They're not the enemies of the Islamic Republic. They're enemies of Iran.
Yes, exactly. Which is why, Keyboard Warrior, this statement from Reza Pahlavi might be something that you are looking forward to. We are developing underground networks to be able to achieve that. So he's going to continue and push harder for underground networks to organize people so the next time they come out, we don't see a repeat of this. I'm pretty sure that other than planning for the future of Iran when the transitional government is there in power, this is his biggest priority. So our next super chat is Hamid. And Hamid is saying, you tell me what happened. How can the Iranian people trust the U.S. again after this betrayal? 40,000 deaths weren't enough for them? Why the U.S. doesn't let Israel destroy the IRGC? The U.S. isn't letting the Israelis destroy the IRGC at the moment because they would like lower gas prices. And if the Strait of Hormuz is closed, the U.S. and most of the countries around the world are going to suffer pretty greatly. And the U.S. is putting that at higher priority at the moment. We'll see what happens after the midterms when they have much less to lose, and have their hands are more freed up again. That's why we're monitoring what President Trump's saying, what Israel is saying. But yeah, go ahead.
No, that's completely correct. So, Ahmed, first of all, nobody should be trusting anybody. That's why we should arm the Iranian people so that they can rely on themselves. The Iranian people should do what the Jewish people did. The Jewish people were relying on world powers to defend them until Zionism and Israel became a thing, and Israel became a powerful country with a great military that defends itself. So we should turn into a nation where we could stand on our own feet instead of waiting for the Americans and other people to come help us. And we should start with arming the Iranian people. We should start with that. When it comes to why the Americans are doing what they're doing right now, as Ali just mentioned, as much as we want them to go and kill everybody, if the current economic situation in the United States will mean that there's going to be a bloodbath in the midterms, then whatever help we already received, we're not going to receive that anyways after, if the Democrats manage to take over the House and the Senate, because if they do, then they're going to be able to limit President Trump even more. So if President Trump needs to calm the oil market so that they could reduce inflation inside the United States, so that to give a chance to the Republicans in the midterm so that the Democrats don't have the upper hand, if that's the plan, I'm not saying that's the reason, but if that's the reason, it also makes sense for us, because as much as you want President Trump to do more, if the Democrats win, we wouldn't even get the level of help that we received already from President Trump.
Here's one of the ways that I think about it. If the Democrats win the midterms and they potentially win the next presidential election, the amount of damage that it's already done to the Islamic Republic can start being reversed. A Democratic president can come and fully lift all sanctions and let the Islamic Republic work with them. They would work with them. I don't really doubt that. And they would completely be fooled by the Islamic Republic, because every Democratic president has been so far, and many Republican presidents. So we got help. We got help so far. But if we're going to start seeing a reversal in the amount of help that we've gotten, like if it's going to be helping the Islamic Republic from now on, I'm not with that at all.
Yeah.
Good question, Hamid. And we have Nechma saying, is it Nechma, right?
Nechma.
Nechma.
No.
Nechma.
Nechama.
Nechama. Nechama. I feel like we're in the 5th season of a show that I should have stopped watching in the 3rd season. I know, this is like the slow burn. This is it's such a depressing it's such a depressing time for me, where I'm like, oh my god, just 2 weeks ago I was like, yes. I mean, but now I'm like, oh my god, where is it going? I'm trying to figure out where it's going.
Well, this is a feeling that we have already experienced multiple times after the previous uprisings of the Iranian people, and it always, after it seemed like it was over, and then we always had the bigger uprising come after. So what I can promise you is that the Iranian people will continue to fight, and they will continue to fight stronger than they did before, every single time. And also, Israel is never going to give up on attacking the Islamic Republic. So this is the down, but it's not going to. We're not going to remain here. We're always going to have a comeback. I know for many people watching this is the first time through this roller coaster, but we had this in the 96 protests, and 96. I'm saying this based on the Persian calendar. The 96 protests, the 98 protests, the 1401 protests, and now in the Lion and Sun, the Master Revolution, the Lion and Sun Revolution, the Bloody Aban, all of that. So we have been here so many times before, and we always keep coming back. And this is the in-between period, and we always feel like this in the in-between period. But every single time, the Iranian people rise up again. Every single time.
Also, the frequency at which these uprisings happen has been shortening. We're not going to have to wait years for the next one, potentially. It's been happening faster and faster. And oh my god, the amount of damage that's been done this year to the Islamic Republic, I'm not sure we're going to have to wait too much longer. This $300 billion, as we explained yesterday, is kind of a scam. Private companies are going to have to come and invest into a country like the Islamic Republic that is completely unsafe. It might erupt into war and has chaos uprisings at every corner. I don't know too many private companies that are going to be coming to invest billions of dollars. There's going to be shell companies, there's going to be China, there's going to be Qatar, things like that. But I really don't think it's going to reach anywhere near $300 billion.
Ali, did you start a comment regarding PBD, or was that an accident?
Yes, I did.
No, so we could just go through the super chats until we get. I just wanted to see if there was an accident.
All right, and thank you for that. Next one is Fleshy Interloper saying Ali for Savak. Yeah, sure. Heartbeat. I would do it. No problem. Just give me the training. I love learning new skills that can help the future government of the Iran.
So for people who don't know, Savak is was Iran's intelligence agency, basically Iran's Mossad and CIA before the Islamic Revolution. And many Iranians want Savak back after the Islamic Republic falls.
Yeah, here's the thing. My fear has always been I enter some sort of organization like Savak or CIA or whatever, and I'm completely hand-tied by bureaucracy. Like, I might have my opinions and my thoughts and my analysis, and someone maybe one step ahead of me, or like one like hierarchy, one like seniority level higher than me is just like, shut up. And I'm like, okay, well, this is completely useless then. I'm not helping people. So I might even just do what Armin's doing. If this helps people more, then this helps people more.
Okay, but now you have two intelligence agencies wanting you, Ali, because you are wanted for Savak, but also you're getting a bribe from Mossad. So bribe
Yay!
from so bribe
Ooh.
for Ali from Mossad. And apparently
Armin,
Roman Cabbage is an agent of Mossad, which is interesting.
sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roman Cabbage. What should I do with my bribe? And Armin, did you know that the CIA recruit very heavily, or have been trying to recruit people who speak Farsi? They've been doing that for
Ooh.
like around 20 years now. And so as soon as I graduated college, I got a little email. Got a little email from the CIA. They were like, "Hey, consider working for the CIA." And I was like, well, at the time, I'm like 21. I'm like, maybe not today. Thank you, though.
Guys, this is Ali trying to pretend that he didn't say yes. He's been working for the CIA all this time, and this is this cover. Wow, amazing! Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know that. Javi is
Yeah,
saying I
'cause
would accept. That's so
yeah,
cool.
if you list Farsi as your official language when you're going through all the college apps and everything, then when you graduate, I think depending on a couple other factors, I looked into it. There was a couple other factors. They would they'll just send you an email to be like, "Hey, you should apply," and then yeah.
All right. This goes.
And Shauna saying, I care about America's house party. The sports ball is just the activities. Also, it just came up on my notifications because the great algorithm knows.
Sure. But guys,
Sounds
I'm really
exciting.
enjoying watching Europeans and Japanese people loving America. I don't know if you guys are following this. So yeah, it is America's house party, and people are really loving it. So I'm not following the games, but I am seeing Europe. Ali, have you been seeing this? How many Europeans are impressed with how great America is? Like they're having. It's interesting because people think like, oh yeah, Americans want to go see Europe, right? But Europeans and Japanese people are like so impressed with America. They're like, look at their social media. Their social media posts are going viral, and the number one thing that they keep saying is that the Americans are very generous and very kind, and that everything is big. And they're
Yeah.
impressed with the free food before they eat and the free refills.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they're also overwhelmed with the number of drinks that are available at the machines at the restaurant. They're like, what? So yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, if you're coming from a lot of these countries, even in Europe, the standard of living is different. Not like to say higher or lower, it's just different. And when you come here, as long as you have money, do whatever you want. And everything's bigger, which means everything's more spaced out. So a lot of people are complaining about how long it takes to get to places. They're like, why is this place so big? Everything's so big.
Yeah, there was one person that thought he could walk to the stadium, and he was walking for 8 hours. So, so it's like, no, he was like, people were like, you can't walk there, and he like that post went viral as well. He was a European, I don't forget from what country, and like, challenge accepted. It's right over there, and he was walking on the highway, and it took him 8 hours.
Yeah, I don't. Usually you look up where you're going first, but I guess he didn't.
Okay.
And the next one is know the figures. Before this war, didn't realize that there were so many common words between Parsi and Bengali. Hundreds of them, if not more. Google, please. Bengali and Parsi, common words.
I mean, we are Indo-European, we are part of the same language group.
500 years ago, or 300 years. So from the 1500s to the mid 1800s, the official court language of the Mughal Empire, who ruled India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan, was Persian. That's why.
Ooh. Interesting. Okay, there you go. That's the explanation. Isn't the national anthem of Pakistan in Persian? Like, is the national anthem of Pakistan in Persian? Yeah.
Muy interesante.
Which is, yeah, weird, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, Know the Figures. And we have Jahangiri Victor again with the generous super chat saying, listen, everyone.
Thank you.
Trump has now to focus 100% to win the midterm to keep the Democrats outside the House or Senate, which will create chaos. We're going for 2 more years ahead of us, and you saw what we did in a few days. He has to do this to get 2 more years of power. If that's what it takes, if that is the direction we're going, and if that's what it takes, I'm with it. If that is not the direction we're going, I'm not with it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly what Ali said. If that's if that's the direction, then I'm 100% behind this.
Well, this guy knows what's up.
Yeah.
And thank you again. And Tay Logan saying at Javisha for Iran, hi again. Oh yeah, I watched a channel PBD. He says he's Iranian. Do you think he has good info or just making money? I truly want your opinion if you know who he is. Yes, so Patrick Bet David is a complete grifter, which means that he goes where the wind blows. If the wind blows in favor of Prince Reza Pahlavi, that is where he goes. If the odds turn against Prince Reza Pahlavi, he also goes against Prince Reza Pahlavi.
Actually, it's worse than that. Even when things were going in direction of Prince Reza Pahlavi, because Prince Reza Pahlavi didn't come on his show, he turned 100% against them. Even after the Iranian people were in the streets, shouting Javid Shah and Pahlavi will return everywhere in Iran, he came out and he made the shows against Prince Reza Pahlavi. So, guys, Patrick Bet David is the enemy of the Iranian people. So don't let him use his I am Iranian card as a way to get legitimacy. He's the enemy of Iran and the Iranian people, and he has advocated for the MEK, which is a communist Islamic cult, against Prince Reza Pahlavi, which the Iranian people bled for in the thousands just to be able to shout to tell the whole world that they want Pahlavi back in Iran. That's what he's going against, and that's why he's an enemy of the Iranian people.
Absolutely. He's also come out and multiple times say that he thinks that Prince Reza Pahlavi is just going to start blaming everyone except for himself. He's like, that's what he does. That's what Reza Pahlavi does. He blames everyone else except for himself. Every time something happens, he's like, oh, this guy did that and this guy did. He's never done that. Prince Reza Pahlavi has never once blamed anyone except for the Islamic Republic. That is it.
And thank you for asking us, by the way. It's great that you come for a clarification here. Yeah.
So yeah, he again yesterday actually he came out and ran his mouth against Prince Reza Pahlavi again. Apparently,
don't give him airtime.
I'm not going to give him airtime. Yeah. Basically, he's comparing himself to Prince Reza Pahlavi. He literally came out and said that I could run. He's like, I would be a good choice for running Iran's economy, but like God. I have kids and blah blah blah.
Can you send that to me? It might be a good.
Do you want to watch it?
Oh my God!
I have it right here.
Sure.
Okay.
Are you fucking kidding me? How long is it?
Before
49 seconds.
Okay.
30 days before the U.S. and Israel bombed Tehran, the Times of Israel ran a piece why Patrick Bet David is the leader Iran needs.
I think that's all we need to know. This guy comes out. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I'll play it.
Those ideas been entertained by any serious players in your life?
We had extensive conversation about this last July when we were in the Hamptons. I got calls saying, do you have any interest? Would I be able to change the economy, be a glue between the States and Europe and open up the market where the 92 million people could start doing business, creating jobs, economy, yeah, I think I could do that. But as the guy to be the leader doing that, I got 4 kids, 14, 12, 10, 4 years old. Do I want to put them through this right now? No. I would have to be there. I would need to live there. This isn't like a Zoom president. You get that job has to be you're moving there. We talked about it probably for 2 or 3 months. And then at the end of the day, I said, it's just not a job I want to do right now.
You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. You fucking piece of shit. You're hated by the Iranian people. The Iranian people fucking hate you. Like, I would do it, but I have a family. You will be skinned alive if you step into Iran. If you step in Iran, you will be skinned alive for being the enemy of the Iranian people and the enemy of the country, and going against attacking the very person that the Iranian people were dying just to be able to shout out his name in all corners of Iran. When IRGC was shooting into the crowds of people, in every single corner of Iran, the Iranian people were calling for Princess of Pahlavi, and you came out and you started attacking the leader of our revolution and the person that the Iranian people have so obviously chosen and bled for to be the leader of the revolution. You came against the will of the Iranian people. I would do it, but I have a family. The Iranian people hate you, and you know it. You know the Iranian people hate you. You're an enemy of Iran. Fuck you.
How much of a piece of shit do you have to be? Again, one of the great things is that you say this and it's on the internet. You can never take it back. And he's not only said things like this once, he said them multiple times. This is one of those people that when they show up in Iran, oh my God, people are like, if they see him on the street, they're gonna be like spitting on him and everything. Like, this guy's just such a, how can you possibly compare yourself to Prince Reza Pahlavi? He's dedicated his entire life to this. He's been saying the same thing no matter what on day one till now. You've been going wherever the wind blows. You've been saying this, been saying that. You supported the MEK to kill Iranian people. You've been saying things that are pro-regime. Everything that you didn't do, all the times you didn't say pro-Shah things in the past 6 months, was directly helping the Islamic Republic, because you have millions of followers. You have millions of people who watch you. And if you can't handle 4 kids, you should not be handling 92 million people. Retard. Anyway, just wanted to make sure that people knew about that. And Fleshy Interloper saying, freedom of navigation is why the United States Navy exists. That's what Armin says all the time, guys.
Yeah. I like the way you think, Fleshy.
Yeah. If you think about the British Navy, why were they a global superpower? Because they could control global trade by providing security. They can make outposts and grab materials and goods from wherever they wanted in the world, and no one can stop them. They could dictate all of that. The United States is a superpower because they also have the same power. And another generous super chat from Jahangiri Victor. Oh my God, he loves you. Thank you so much. 60 days is there for Trump's reason. 60 days is there for Trump's reason, not their reason. Self-confidence of IRGC is also part of the plan to make the next step possible. Relax and let the Donald make what he needs to do. Benjamin the Lion won't stop. I like that. Benjamin the Lion won't stop until regime change. He has never been closer. So it seems like he thinks that this can be a ploy to get the IRGC to lower their guard. And yes, absolutely. We've said that a lot of times where there's a lot of noise. And if this is a way to make the IRGC completely lower their guard, that would be a once in a lifetime seen genius ploy. And it would be that once in a lifetime seen genius ploy. So the percentage of that happening is not 0, but it is low.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's what the plan, if the plan is. So when it comes to Netanyahu, and honestly, Israel as a whole, that is completely, 100%, they're not going to give up until the Islamic Republic falls. With regards to President Trump, this is the plan. That if this is the plan, I will be 100% behind it. If President Trump is using Alibaba with threats of death to be eating the Islamic Republic from the inside and basically making moves against the IRGC, the supreme leadership of the Paidari camp, using Alibaba. This is, for many reasons, which I'm not going to repeat here right now. I think that is a genius plan. If that's what the plan is. If that's what the plan is, I think it's perfect. And I think a lot of people won't understand it. And I try to explain it, but it's so good that if it's true, it's genius. But again, I'm not saying that this is the plan or not. But if this is the plan, it's genius, and it just might work.
Yeah, that would be fighting the IRGC the exact way that they fight, in targeting them at the point where they hurt the most.
Exactly.
Okay, so quick little update here. So for those of you who didn't know, we covered this yesterday, where there was 4 Israeli soldiers who were unfortunately killed in action by Hezbollah, and the Israelis have responded with force. Today, they have killed, I believe, around 80 Hezbollah terrorists, wounded many more, 60 plus, and it seems like the attacks are in full force at the moment, with tank brigades of the IDF rolling up to Hezbollah strongholds, with airstrikes supporting them. We are unsure if there are further casualties on both sides as of now, but the death toll on the Israeli side is 5 this week and almost 100 for Hezbollah. And that is in the pro-Hezbollah channels that I've seen, the Hezbollah terrorists are very, very alarmed at the rate that they're being eliminated. So that's great. I liked seeing that.
So 5 from Israel. How many for Hezbollah?
Seems about 80. 80 terrorists killed and another 60 wounded. So that's a lot for just a 1 week period in terms of this this operation.
Wait, 80 or 18? People are saying 18.
80. 80.
Okay.
Yes. So
we could get those numbers up.
Yeah. So a lot of Lebanon is being hit by airstrikes.
So the news, because we got news that Israel and Hezbollah both announced ceasefire. So that's all gone. Based on what
they announced the ceasefire again today. And since then, Israel has made multiple pushes, heavy pushes with airstrikes and tank pushes, airstrikes. One Israeli soldier from an elite unit got was in hand-to-hand combat with an Hezbollah terrorist and eliminated him with a knife. That also happened.
Wait.
So
say that again.
In hand-to-hand combat, an Israeli commando eliminated a Hezbollah terrorist with a knife. Hand-to-hand combat with a knife.
Today. That happened today.
In the last 30 or so hours, 30, 36 hours, day and a half.
Holy fuck. That is so bad.
Yeah, so this is how intense and close the fighting is. I'm not sure, guys, right? Ceasefire, just hit them a little bit less. The Strait of Hormuz open, which means that it's a little bit less closed than before. Yeah. This is what we're dealing with.
Wow, that is pretty badass. These are warriors, guys. Are there any Israelis here? Or I think most of them are sleeping now. But fucking proud of you, man. You guys have some amazing fighters. Fucking warriors.
Yeah, so it seems like their operations this week have been targeting a Hezbollah stronghold by the name of Ali al-Tahir, which is in South Lebanon. And they've been hammering it. Tanks, troops, airstrikes, everything. And that's where they've managed to kill around 100 Hezbollah terrorists.
Yes. Amir is still with us. Look at this. Amir is still here with us. Thank you. Respect.
And so our next super chat here. Oh yeah, and by the way, we'll discuss what that means in terms of IRGC in a second. But Jahangiri Victor saying, sorry, no, I mean this regime will be gone by that time. I think he means the next 2 years. I mean the oil island, Karg Island. Oh, you want joint ownership of the Strait and Karg Island? I mean, oh my God,
okay, that's what you're
the
saying.
regime would have a heart attack at even the mention of that.
So if you're talking about the joint ownership of Karg Island after the regime falls, if you're saying that, is that what? I mean, no, the regime will be gone by that time. Yeah, I think you mean by. I think if that's what you mean, I don't think that's something that the new government in Iran would be okay with, and I don't think that's something the Americans would want anyways, because that would be a violation of the border integrity and the natural resources. I think the Americans would be satisfied with the fact that the Iranian oil is now entering, the oil market freely. I think that's what they would be happy with. That they wouldn't need joint, to, for them to have a joint operation. I mean, they could have operations with building the island, but I don't think when it comes to ownership, the United States would be happy just the fact that oil is entering the market and it's bringing oil prices down. Yeah. But I don't know if I'm understanding the point, though. If I'm understanding it correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And Wyatt, welcome. Saying Guy suggested watching extremist videos, picking them apart, praising the good and exposing bad ideas. This would be good at de-radicalizing people. Like extremist political takes, exposing bad ideas.
When it comes to, let me tell you this: when it comes to like people with radical views, if you want to change their opinions, it does make sense to try to find something that they're right about, and then tell this to them as a way to get their guards down, and then talk about their other ideas that you're against. So it is a good strategy, like even with somebody with like the most, with views that are completely against everything you stand for. If you're trying to talk to them and convince them, it does bring their guard down if you find something that you agree with them and highlight that.
Good idea. Maybe I'll start looking for some. And thanks, Wyatt. And we have Jahangiri Victor, who says, you cannot compare Persians to anyone else you mentioned. We will be able to fight in a way no one but Israel does with tactics. Oof, I'm looking forward to that.
But Jahangir, not just Persians, all Iranians. Persians, Kurdish, Bakhtiyari, Gilaki, Azeri, Turkmen, Baluchi, Arab. We have a 3% Arab population, and our Bakhtiyari Iranians are some of the most fierce fighters. So them too. Yes.
I think he would very much like to join
Jews.
one of these forces.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
I think
Jews.
Jahangir is waiting to join. Yeah.
The Jews.
Jews. We have Iranian Jews. Sorry, I forgot Jews in Iran. Yes, them too. But Ali, this reminds me of the fact that we have to remind people that Savak used to be trained by Mossad.
Yeah, they did. They would go to Israel. They would sit in classes and learn from Mossad agents, and they would come back to Iran.
Somebody
pictures of that, so no one can say it's not true. Fleshy Interloper.
Lior was asking how many Jews live in Iran. I just looked it up. Between 8,000 to 15,000 right now.
Wow, very low.
So much more. Yeah, very low. It used to be so much more.
Yeah. Wow. And Fleshy Interloper saying Strait is only 20% open. Not sure MOU is working. Exactly. Remember, guys, the strait being open is just, it's a little bit less closed. That's all it means.
So bring back the blockade then, if they're not opening it.
Yeah. But apparently both sides are broadcasting messages that the strait is still closed. So I think what is happening is each side is trying to get the advantage from the other one. They want to see who's going to open it first, to have the assurances, I guess. And the Islamic Republic is still not opening it. So remember, they're playing the Israel-Lebanon card, and they've canceled talks. They're saying we're not even going to talk at this point.
It would be disappointing if the blockade is removed and the strait is closed. That would be disappointing.
Because Iranian, like these oil tankers from Iranian ports have transited the Strait of Hormuz and are in international waters. Saeed Ghassanejad, Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi's right-hand man and also the oil expert for Iran, has estimated that these ships that have left have brought in $1.5 billion in revenue for the regime already. Already. It's been a few days. So
Wow.
this is a disaster if the blockade is removed and they get to sell their oil, but then all these oil ships don't get to leave.
That would be disappointing.
Now we'll see if Project Economic Fury by Scott Bessent does something about this money, because a lot of these tankers, guys, are they're gray area in terms of legality. They're shadow fleet ships. They're not owned by the Islamic Republic directly. They're flagged out of like, Bolivia or like Vietnam or some other country. So there's some area there. We'll see what Scott Bessent does about it. Pokigo says Israel is part of an excuse, actually a trap for the IRGC, who's also been a member for 1 month. Thank you. Do you think that that Lebanon is a trap for the IRGC? Because it seems like they're milking it pretty well so far.
Who's milking it?
The IRGC are milking it to be like, hey, Israel's hitting Lebanese people, even though we ordered Hezbollah to attack Israel.
So here's how Israel can be. Let me put my 5D chess hat on. Okay. Here's how Israel could be a trap for the IRGC. Okay. If the plan for the Americans is to allow Ghalibaf to become the most powerful person within the Islamic Republic and use him as their inside man against the IRGC and the supreme leader, then this MOU needs to make sense to more pro-regime Iranians for Ghalibaf to be able to get them on board, right? I'm not saying this is what's happening, but let me give you the best case scenario, right? The most 5D chess case scenario. If this is going to have any buy-in within the Islamic Republic, Israel cannot be happy about it. You have to demonstrate that Israelis are angry. You have to do something that pisses off Israel, so that some people within the regime, some people who support the regime, could be convinced that, well, if Israel is upset, this must be working in our favor. So maybe the best way to fake a fight is to make it a real fight. You know what I'm saying? The best way to pretend is not to pretend at all. Like if you are trying to play good cop, bad cop, right? You have to actually, instead of acting like you're against the bad cop, you actually have to be against the bad cop so that the regime falls for it. You actually have to do something that is bad for Israel so that the Islamic Republic thinks, at least in the short term, so the Islamic Republic thinks this is moving in the right direction. This is the most 5D chess, So imagine if Ali and I are playing good cop and bad cop and there's a prisoner in front of us, and I think this guy would not fall for it. So instead of me going and tell Ali, like, hey, Ali, let's fight with each other, so that he thinks that we're against each other, I'll actually start pissing off Ali. Like, I actually start doing something instead of telling him that let's act like we're against each other. I'll actually do something that Ali turns against me. That would be the most convincing to the prisoner. So that would be the most ultimate 5D chess move against the Islamic Republic. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but I'm just saying it would be the ultimate.
Yeah, I can see that. And here's the part though: we can't verify that or know if that's true until it happens, until they come out and they like strike the IRGC together.
Yes. This is like so meta. It's like, I don't know. This person gets like you might have outsmarted me, but I outsmarted your outsmarting. Yes, pretty much. Anyways, there's layers to this.
And James Moore saying, "Oh right, after this, we're gonna go through one message from the Telegram group." You guys like seeing that?
Yeah, let's go to Telegram after this. Yes.
Okay. James Moore is saying, "And we, as friends of Mossad, will continue to bribe you. I can neither confirm nor deny any connection."
Okay, guys, somebody take a note that James is with Mossad. Okay, because somebody every time we hear James talking, let it be known that he's from Mossad. Okay. You know, he speaks like Mossad because Mossad always like comes out and say, "We'll neither confirm or deny this." So pretty much Mossad. Thank you for your support.
Okay, and a quick little break from the super chats to go through one of you guys' apparently favorite segments. And let me share my screen.
Remove the comments. Here, I'll remove it for you.
Thank you. Okay. So this one's a tiny bit lengthier. Let me translate it real quick. All right.
Ooh.
So someone was basically saying in this
So no,
this
wait, give
part,
context for people who might know. Okay, so
yeah,
Ali goes into IRGC Telegram groups. So this is Fars News. That means like this is their group. So people who are in there, they're pro-regime. And he goes and finds the best comments. He goes and finds comments that will show what the regime supporters are thinking. Right? So let's go. What is this one?
So someone was saying that, listen, decline? What do you mean the Islamic Republic is declining? We're not declining. I don't see any indication of us declining. We're just like a regime supporter. And then this
declining
guy...
Declining what? Declining
yeah,
what?
we're bringing up the message here. So this was the original message that this person is responding to, and we'll go to it right now. Okay. So don't get too carried away, infidel. Decline? I don't see any decline. The proxy groups have weakened, but they are not declining. What? Iran itself has become stronger than before the war because it has received a lot of aid, and its war experience has made it better at managing. And then he's quoting an American general, and this American general, General McKinsey, is saying the Iranian government will be in place for 1,000 years and will not be defeated from abroad. Yeah, I don't know if he actually said that, but anyway. So this guy, this regime supporter, is like, "What do you mean? What do you mean, bro? Our proxy groups, yeah, they're weakened, but like that doesn't mean they're declining. We're actually so much stronger."
And he's calling
Iran's stronger.
And he's calling him an infidel. Can I see the original?
Infidel. Yeah, of course. And then we have a real good response.
Coverage. Oh my god. So guys, look at this. Pro-regime people are calling other pro-regime people infidels because they're saying things that they don't agree with. Right? Okay. So guys, people are accusing each other of being infidel because of their bad takes. Okay, so now let's continue.
And then do you guys want to see the response to that?
Yes.
Okay. So this person has come out and he's responding to that message of saying, decline? I don't see any decline. this guy is saying, and let me know if you want to see the Farsi one of this, but he's saying,
So
how
there's-
despicable. Sorry, what?
No, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
He's saying, how despicable are you that you spend your whole life insulting Americans, but whenever one of them says something good about you, you get excited and take their words as a source, as in the American general saying, oh yeah, the Islamic Republic is going to stay for 1,000 years. He's like, you have been talking smack on Americans forever, but as soon as one of them says, oh yeah, the Islamic Republic is going to stay, you're like, oh yes, he said that, so it's true. Hypocrisy. And then he comes up and says the definition of decline. This guy says decline means a photo is circulated showing your president signing an agreement with the killer of the supreme leader under a photo of the supreme leader. I don't know what else needs to happen for you idiots to wake up a little and understand what situation you're in.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Ali, this is line by line what we said they will say when this happens.
It's great.
Guys, this copy, like when we said you have signed, before any of them saw this happening, we basically told you that they're going to say you are signing an agreement with the killer of our supreme leader. By the way, that's poetic. I look at this, guys. Let's see. Not all pro-regime Iranians are retarded. I mean, they are retarded, but some of them are just a little bit less retarded. But this is such a good take. Decline means a photo is circulated showing your president signing an agreement with the killer of that leader under the photo of his killed leader. Can I see the Persian? This is too good. I need to see the original.
Yeah.
This is Ali. This hits the spot. Oh my God, it's so good. افول یعنی اینکه یه عکس پخش میشه که رئیس جمهور داره زیر عکس رهبر کشته شدهش توافق رو با قاتل همون رهبر امضا میکنه. Yeah. Decline means that the president of your president is signing an agreement under the picture of a supreme leader, signing an agreement with the murderer of the same supreme leader. Fucking brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Fucking brilliant. I agree with this regime supporter.
Yeah. And Steve was asking, I can't find his, yeah. Steve was saying, shouldn't we get involved? Huh?
Can you send this to me before you forget?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah.
Steve was saying, shouldn't we get involved in this Telegram group chat? If you do, these guys are actually kind of sticklers. They've started banning people in the last couple of weeks who have been saying, like people who try to come and actually mess with them, they just ban them.
Ooh.
And I don't want them to start
active.
Yeah, they always are like mods, admins. And I don't want them.
Mods, why are you letting this Zionist in here? Get the Zionists. Okay.
Yes, exactly. They're like these Zionists. But yeah, I don't want them to start feeling like they can't talk about whatever they want to talk about. I want them to say everything and everything. What are they gonna do? You know, this is actually helping us more than certain.
The thing is that, guys, it's already so bad. Like, if we go in and be like, hey, yeah, I'm a Basiji, I agree, don't betray the blood of the supreme leader. Like, that's like a drop in an ocean. Like, it's already maxed out. Like, you're not gonna be able to help with that. Like, they're already doing it themselves.
Yeah, my CIA training has done me really well here.
Shh. Okay.
Right. So there's your little alligram, as you guys like to call it.
That was pretty good. Alligram. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that was all I could find. That was juicy today. The rest is kind of stuff that we've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay. Where were we? Yes. Sarah, you saying are some guys? We also have more news after this, so we'll cover what's happening in Russia, which it's crazy, and then we'll also go through.
I have my flag ready for that when we go there. Okay. So
yeah, and we'll also go through a couple more things that are happening with the IRGC and what they're saying and not saying, and then JD Vance clips as well. Of course, we gotta have what he's been saying. Okay, So Sarah, you saying, are some Savak still organized? Did a representative meet with David Barnea in Witkoff and the gang in January in Miami? More in background, not more in the behind the scenes who are not ready yet. No. So all the Savak people are like in their 80s, 90s. They're really old, and our new Savak, or rather the Immortal Guard, a lot of them have received training directly in Israel. So it's a direct parallel with the Savak. Got their training in Israel, came back to Iran, sleeper agents went about their normal life. Then boom, February 28th happened. And after that, they started conducting operations. So they would like launch drones, gas leaks, which is just they would set things on fire or do little explosions, try to assassinate people from the IRGC and stuff like that. So if you're talking
So what
about
was
Immortal Guard,
dismantled even before? Yeah, no. So it's different. One of them is like a revolutionary movement. The other one was an intelligence agency. But Savak was dismantled before the Shah was even during the Pahlavi. At the last years of Pahlavi, Savak was dismantled, which was a mistake, by the way.
oh my God, I've been thinking more and more about this. Savak came, and the generals of the Royal Army of Iran came to the Shah and said, "Sir, if you give the order, we can completely destroy this revolution." And they're like, "We have a plan. This is our plan. We can completely get rid of this revolution." And the Shah said, "No, I don't want to shed the blood of Iranians." He's so ahead of his time. And that is the most common criticism that people do of Mohammad Reza Shah. However, I like to think that I think you've said this before, the only criticism is that he wasn't transparent enough to the people. He wanted the people to see
I think
what he was
dismantling.
doing for themselves.
I think the Shah was correct not to be brutal because he didn't want to. He wanted to, because if he did shed so much blood to suppress the revolution, we might have. What he would do is that, because I think the Iranian people are now so much more mature than before. But if the Shah was forcing himself up on the people, we wouldn't get to the point. Like we were so behind. The Iranian people were so behind their own Shah in maturity, right? And if you forced your way upon the people, then you will never get to the point where the society itself comes to the awareness of what works and what doesn't work. And the Shah was investing in the Iranian people. He didn't want to impose himself on the Iranian people. But I think one of the only mistakes that the Shah might have done is that he dismantled the Savak. I think the Savak shouldn't have been dismantled. One of the few mistakes he made.
Yeah. And thanks, Sarah. John Giddy Victor saying, after they won the midterm, you will see 100-degree 80 turn with boots on the ground. We love you from Sweden. Oh, with boots on the ground. Maybe the southern coast of Iran? Maybe. But yeah, anywhere else, I don't know. Special operations. Yeah, thank you, John Giddy Victor. Who also says Jahangir.
Jahangir said what? After they won the midterms, you will see 180 with the boots on 180-degree shift with boots on the ground. We love you from Sweden. Okay, we love you back. So you think we will have boots on the ground after the midterms? We'll see. That would be a great shift. Boots on the ground only in the southern Iran, not like Iraq, not like a ground invasion of what we saw with Saddam. But yeah, maybe like what would be ideal is taking over maybe of some southern cities in Iran and some islands for sure. I mean, I hope you're right. We'll see, Jahangir. I hope you're right. Okay, sorry, Ali, I keep interrupting you.
No, not at all. Who also said, saving for the Trump gold card. I'm coming soon. To America? Okay.
Okay.
How much you have to pay for you can pay to get a gold card?
Yep.
Which lets you do what exactly?
It's like a green card, but you pay for it, I think. You just pay for it and you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Rasa saying there are 2 links to Parsi and Indian languages. First one is pre-Mughal Sanskrit Parsi, then post-Mughal Parsi, Hindu, Urdu, others. Yeah, but they all come from Iran.
Yeah, so that's one of them is ancient, one of them is more recent. Yeah, the ancient one was what I was talking about. It's like part of the same language group, Indo-European.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rasa is
right,
very
let's go.
interested in that.
Yeah. So let's move through these. I'll do so. Yael from Jerusalem saying, I have some issues to share with my background history, but not here. Can I email you? I'm not allowed to send as it's not letting me to send with no sensitive info. Had to dump it down. Okay, yeah. I mean, you could. It's going to be hard for me to find time to respond, but I will try my best. Try emailing me as armin.navobi@gmail.com. Okay, so it's just my email. My email is here. Yeah, armin.navobi@gmail.com. And then we got the next super chat from Jahangir saying he's a scammer and has no morals. Yep, exactly. Patrick Bet-David for sure. And he's saying Patrick Bet-David, tough to set it, which guys means spit be upon your head. Yes, or Khak to set it. Khak to set it is more common. And thank you for, yeah, completely agree. Shara with the super chat saying the U.S. Navy exists because Muslims kept kidnapping our people. So we built a navy and got them back. Is that how it started? And now the whole world's and now the whole world benefits from it. So Muslims started something that is now the backbone of global security. Okay, thank you. Good. Shana has really good historical information. And that is saying, have you guys watched the interview with Patrick Bet-David had with Princess of Pahlavi? Pat asked him, "Do you want to return to Iran and be the king?" The prince said, "No, my life is here in the U.S." He didn't say no. He didn't say no. He said he has roots here in the U.S. and it would be difficult. And his family has friends, like his children, for example, grew up in the United States with all sorts of connections and friends, and they have no roots in Iran, right? And he has many, many times mentioned that he is willing to go to Iran. It might mean that he wouldn't take his family. It might mean that he would, but he has many times said that he is going to go to Iran as soon as, not even after actually his eagerness to go back to Iran is actually too, I think might be too much, because his message, actually, if you actually look at his messages, he says he will go back to Iran as soon as the first few cities in Iran are liberated, even when the Islamic Republic is still in power, which I think is actually too dangerous. So if you actually look at his messages, he has very, very explicitly, clearly and directly has said that he wants to go to Iran and lead the revolution from inside Iran as soon as the first city is liberated. Nail Bunny, thank you so much for the membership gifts. Oh, thank you. Okay, sorry, not Nail Bunny. I'm sorry. Mrs. Claus. Okay. So Amir is Santa Claus and Nail Bunny is Mrs. Claus. Thank you for all the gifts. And then James, thank you so much for the super chat saying, so half of 15,000 Jewish Iranian citizens who are well armed, what? Perhaps they could get a religious donation from Israel through the yet to be arranged rabbi system. So yeah, that would be very dangerous, and the Jewish Iranian citizens are heavily monitored, and I don't think that the Islamic Republic is going to let those donations get to them. And actually, if there is any news regarding Jewish people in Iran um, getting donation from outside, the whole community will be, the Islamic Republic will, like, it will be very, very dangerous. I think if the Iranian people are being armed, it should. I mean, I know you're joking, by the way, but I'm just going to use it as an opportunity to say that if the Iranian people get armed, it shouldn't be based on religion, ethnicity, or anything else. It should just be Iranian people as a whole who are willing to fight against the regime. Whether they're Jewish, Zoroastrian, atheist, whatever, right? Baluchi, Kurd, Persian, Bakhtiari, anything. It should be based on who wants to get armed and fight rather than belonging to a separate, to a group or not. In fact, you're not going to be able to find people's willingness to fight based on the membership of their community, the ethnic community that they're members of. You're just going to be able to find who's willing to fight based on who shows up to fight. So it doesn't make any sense to target any specific community. Jahangir, thank you so much for the super chat, saying MOU is constructed to fail. You might be right. I like the way you think. Shai Mohebbi saying MOU was written by Zarif. His piece is this: a deal Tehran can take, published by Foreign Affairs back in April. It literally includes all its bullet points. You sound like the Paidari people. Ali, what do you think about this? That's exactly what the Paidari people are accusing Ghalibaf of, and Pezeshkian and Arakshi. They're like, because remember, the pro-regime people think Zarif is definitely a Zionist agent, like definitely a Zionist agent. So sometimes in Iran, when you say like you're taking orders from Zarif or Rouhani, that's basically the same as saying you're taking orders from Israelis. So this is exactly what the pro-regime, anti-deal Iranians are accusing Ghalibaf, Arakchi, and Pezeshkian of. What do you think, Eddie?
I think they're playing their part well so far. And I don't know, maybe Shay did his research and then saw what the Paidars are being accused of. Yeah. I think that's probably very likely.
This is a good reminder to Ghalibaf that there are other people to talk to. Like, don't you think that if we kill you, it's over? There are other people like Zarif, Rouhani, Khatami, Khomeini. All right. So,
here's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Last night I was thinking if the rivalry between the IRGC commanders and Ghalibaf reaches a boiling point, that is also a window for the US to talk to someone in the IRGC, a hardliner, who might be very desperate to get rid of Ghalibaf and would be willing to make an underhanded deal with the Americans or the Israelis. Like anything's like the fractures and the cracks that we're going to see are going to amplify, and that's going to be opportunity for infiltration at every level, in my opinion.
Yeah. It could be. It is also true that the Americans haven't, like, because the Americans went through, like, here's the thing. Before Ghalibaf, Larijani was the person the Americans were focusing on, right? And then he was killed, right? So this is, so far the Americans have been like, now you, no good, dead. Now you, no good, dead. And now they're going to Ghalibaf. So Ghalibaf must be performing very well based on the American standards for him to still be alive. So it's hard to compete with all the other people if Ghalibaf is actually, if anybody else wants to be like, hey, pick me, like the Americans may be like, this guy is so far okay. You know what I mean? It's hard to compete with that.
I think the Americans are going to keep abusing, or rather trying to get the upper hand on Ghalibaf. And to a certain point, Ghalibaf can't, he can only spin it so much that he's winning, when in reality he's being taken advantage of by the Americans. And I think at a certain point, after he can't spin it anymore as like him still having the upper hand, they're going to keep on pushing him, and he can't do it, and maybe someone new steps in. We'll see.
All right, let's do the super chat so that we could get to
Yeah.
the Russia part.
Yeah. Siddhartha is saying almost certainly not Mossad here, responding to Officer James Moore's electronic dead drop.
Oh no.
Electronic dead drop.
Almost
Yeah,
certain.
that's what I would do if I was Mossad. I would put a completely South Indian username, and then I would be like, I'm not Mossad. But I would have made the grammar like as someone who doesn't speak English, so I could sell it even further. Guys, if you ever want to stalk on your significant other, if you want to stalk someone, all you got to do is just take a random Indian person's picture, put it as your profile picture, make your username like very, very Indian, and then act like you barely, you speak kind of broken English, and that's it. That's your perfect way. People will be like, oh, that's just some random person in India. But in reality,
do what?
To stalk someone, like if they have a private profile or something, you just follow them. They're like, oh, it's just some random person from India. Okay, why not let them follow me?
You seem to have been, Ali. Who are you stalking, and what is the name on your fake Indian account?
I'm just saying
this was too specific. This was too specific. You have done this. You are stalking somebody using an Indian account. Okay.
It works. It works.
Okay, it worked. Wow, we got confirmation. This was too specific. Okay, Ali is doing that. Okay. Oh my god.
And Nail Bunny.
He's not even he's not even denying it. He's like, yeah, well, it works.
Yeah, good luck finding it. Good luck finding it. They'll never find it. And Miss Claus here, Nail Bunny, saying JD Vance is still treating the 12er Shia Islamic death cult as if it's a government that want Iran to thrive rather than to burn, to light the flame of Islam around the world. It is maddening.
JD Vance is still treating the 12er Shia Islamic death cult as if it's a government that wants Iran to thrive. Yeah, that's it. That's what his language sounds like. Yeah, exactly. Thrive rather than burn to light the flame of Islam around the world. Yep, JD Vance doesn't at all understand the Islamic Republic. Compare JD Vance's understanding of the Islamic Republic to Marco Rubio. Like, it's like a PhD level understanding compared to a 5-year-old.
Exactly. Speaking of JD Vance, I'm going to sneak in something right here. We don't have to discuss it. I just want you guys to listen to it, okay? And sorry, if I had to listen to it, so do you.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Anti-Semitic. And so I do think that sometimes, advocates of Israel or pro-Israel people in the United States make two critical mistakes. One, on the one hand, is not delineating between America's interests and Israeli interests, because they're not always the same. But the second is always conflating criticism of a particular government with Jew hatred. Because if everything is Jew hatred, nothing is Jew hatred. I actually think Jew hatred is very bad, which is why I think we have to be very careful about not calling it's kind of like how progressives for 20 years called everything racist. And if everything is racism, nothing is racism.
Bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
Sneaky.
Who the fuck? What are you talking, guys? The people who complain about Israel being criticized and people labeling it as Jew hatred are people who actually do have Jew hatred, because criticizing Israel is something that Israelis do all the fucking time. I have criticized Israel many times. People don't call me a Jew hater because they know I love Israel. Okay, if you're being constantly called a Jew hater, is because you're probably a Jew hater. And exactly, Nail Bunny is saying he sounds like Tucker. He sounds exactly like Tucker right now.
They're friends.
Fuck off.
Or they were publicly. I don't know if they're still publicly. They're probably not publicly friends anymore, but they were friends. Just saying.
And also, Israelis completely understand completely understand that American interests and Israeli interests are two different things. That's why every time they're arguing for Israel, they talk about the mutual interests between Israel and the United States. They don't talk to the Americans regarding this is what you need to do for Israel. They talk about why our partnership and cooperation benefits both countries. That's what they talk about. You don't need to. This is so fucking retarded. You don't need to argue to Americans. Like this is so shows such a lack of gratefulness and appreciation for what Israel has done for the United States. If there's one country on earth where you don't need to go and tell Americans why its strength and supporting it and cooperating with it is America first and it helps Americans, it's Israel. You don't need to remind them, like you don't need. He says Israelis forget that America has its own interests. No, Israelis don't forget that. What you forget is that Israel is good for America. What you forget is that a stronger Israel is good for America. It is within the interest of the United States for Israel to continue getting stronger and getting all the help and support that it needs. Israelis have died more than Americans. Israeli soldiers have died more than Americans, killing America's enemies, who happen to also be Israel's enemies. More Israelis have died in the battlefield killing America's enemies than American soldiers. How about you show some gratefulness and appreciation?
Yeah. And we're going to get through these super chats real quick for you guys. And we are going to give you the latest updates on Iran and then a quick little Russia update as well. Oh, and a Turkey update. Okay. So, Know the Figures is saying that U.S. crude oil, its 2008 high was $147. And the high in 2022, $129. In March, $119. Yesterday, $73. Now, take into account inflation. Why are people complaining about oil price?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Very good point. Here's the thing that you need to add to that. Even if people are not, putting these numbers together and they're still complaining, at the end of the day, what matters is what they think rather than what's reality. Like when it comes to midterm elections, if they're complaining about it, then it matters, even if your numbers are true, which it is true. But that's a those are really good. That's a really good perspective. Thank you so much. I went to my phone. Your points were so good that I went to my phone and I screenshotted my screen just so that I could save what you just said.
Yeah. Yeah, when you zoom out a little bit, that's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Yale says, thanks, Armin. But the email.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Yale.
Thank you.
And Wyatt says, in the 70s, we had 3 TV networks. All 3 were liberal. All 3 hated the Shah and accused him of being a fascist. The media messed up Iran. The media, the same media who prop up the IRGC. Weird.
Right. This is why we and you and all of us need to be the media now, so that these people don't have monopoly over what the truth is.
And people are watching less and less TV and more YouTube. Thanks, Wyatt. And Sammy Banano, in his podcast this morning, PBD was showing off his new merch, a lion and sun hat, and he acknowledged Pahlavi praised a free Iran and bashed the IRGC. I'm telling you, literally 3 weeks ago, he was saying the exact opposite thing. Now he's going back to being like, oh, Pahlavi.
You know what happened? He thought that he has the power to stand against Pahlavi because he thinks that I have a big audience. He didn't realize how big the Pahlavi movement is. He he thought that he has a chance in challenging Pahlavi, and then he realized that the Pahlavi force is so much bigger than a fucking podcast. And now he's trying to submit and come back. There's so many Iranians turned against him, and he's like, oh fuck. Like, he had this one Iranian card, and so many Iranians ended up hating him, and now he's trying to undo the damage that he did to himself. It was too late. Too late, fucker.
He's only sorry because he got caught, and it looks like the data he got back from his podcast show that he lost some viewers. Yeah, I fucking hate that guy.
Like, think about it. Like, you go around, keep telling people like, I'm Iranian, talk to me because I'm Iranian, and now you manage to make almost every Iranian hate you. So you lost that card, and now he's trying to undo that damage. Too late. We're not gonna let the world forget that you turned against the Iranian people exactly at the worst time, in the darkest moments of our history. You came out and you turned against the Iranian people, and we're never gonna forget that. Fuck you.
The worst time to do it with the big audience that you had as well. You didn't help us one bit. You only did damage. James Moore saying the weather is fine when the goats are sleeping. The goats.
What is that?
Might be a New Zealand saying. The goats are sleeping.
You stay away from those goats. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Or is this sheep? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Love you.
Wait, James, can you explain that one thing? Yeah, we'll come back to that. And Siddhartha says, cover blown. Real South Asians use broken English. No, I'm just saying, if you want to really play the part, okay, you want to really like feel like you're no sort of threat. There's no correlation. Anyway. And Dom Dividend saying Qatari lobby wants you to believe Israel is the only country with a lobby. They do. They put so much focus on, what is it, AIPAC?
You know, I have a criticism. Yeah, AIPAC. I do have, guys, look at this. People are like, oh, if you criticize Israel, you become a Jew hater. I criticized Israel many, many times. And now that you're mentioning this, Dom Dividend, I'm going to repeat one of my main complaints regarding, guys, look at this. Let me tell me if I'm a Jew hater for saying this. Here's what I don't like about Israel. Okay? I don't like the fact that they don't invest enough in lobbying. Like, we don't actually have an Israeli lobby. If Israel doesn't even have a lobby in the United States because AIPAC is American. AIPAC is American. AIPAC is not an Israeli lobby. AIPAC is American Jews. American Jews. Guys, last time I checked, American citizens have the fucking right to support the politicians that they want, financially or otherwise. So AIPAC is not even an Israeli lobby. Qatar has a lobby. China has a lobby. Germany has a lobby. Canada has a lobby. Almost every fucking country has a lobby. Israel doesn't have a significant lobby. And why the fuck not? Right? They should have a lobby. And AIPAC is actually tiny. Like, I think people don't understand how tiny. Ali, did you know that dentists have a bigger lobby than AIPAC?
Yeah, you said that.
The dentists, you know, forget countries. Fucking dentists have a bigger lobby in Washington, D.C. than AIPAC. And AIPAC is smaller than, AIPAC is not Israeli, it's American Jews. And AIPAC is smaller than the Chinese lobby, than the Qatari lobby. The Islamic fucking Republic has a lobby called NAYAC in Washington, D.C. Israel doesn't have a lobby, and the Islamic Republic has a fucking lobby. This is fucking insane. So here's my criticism for Israel. here's my criticism for Israel. Get a fucking lobby in Washington, D.C. What are you doing? Get a lobby in Washington, D.C. Like guys, Saudi Arabia's lobby, Bahrain's lobby, UAE lobby, Qatar lobby. They're fucking massive. APAC compared to them is like they have pocket change, they have nothing compared to those lobbies. And nobody complains about them because they're the Jews. And there's some of them are even illegal. NOAC is illegal. And these people the people who are complaining about Israeli lobbies, they don't even fucking know what NOAC is. That's actually illegal. APAC is American. Like, you know how anti-Jewish it is to complain about APAC? Because what you're saying, because the APAC, the people who donate to APAC are American Jews. So you're saying that these American citizens shouldn't be able to donate to their favorite politicians because they're Jews. They're Jews. Many of these people do not even have Israeli citizenship. They're just American Jews. And you're against it, even though they're American, but because they're Jews, you're against APAC. That's I mean, it doesn't get any more racist than that. Anyways.
And Fleshy Interloper saying Jew hatred is broke, or Jew hater is broke. He's starting a GoFundMe. Yeah, he's got to go funnel the funds into us.
Yes.
Get it from the rest of the Jew haters. Okay. So
Thank you.
let's do this. Guys, remember how Mujtaba Khamenei came out with a statement? And he said, oh, yeah, Pezeshkian wanted it. So, you know, let's do it. Let's have sign the MOU. Okay. People went ahead and compared his signatures from before with his signature on the statement. And they are not the same. They are not the same. Who signed for Mujtaba, ladies and gentlemen? Who could have done it? Because he didn't do it himself. He didn't sign it. It's not his signature.
Wait, are you sure
They
this
didn't
is real? Who posted this?
Amir Farshad Ebrahimi.
Okay. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
Is this real?
So it does seem to be real. So he's saying that the hand tremor of a person under 60 is very minimal. Based on the hand tremor in the printed signature, it belongs to an individual over 70 years old. So that's one of his points. The other point is that the printed signature of the statement is derived from Mosami Khamenei's handwriting. And then it was not made by a natural person. And then he compared the Wikipedia signature of Mujtaba Khamenei. Yeah, so the Mujtaba's sample signature in Wikipedia and the recent statement, and they're not the same.
Wait, so which one is the new one?
I think it's the one on the.
Like no, yeah, no, the date is there. خرداد 1405. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the left one. So I actually think that's real.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if this is not confirmed, but if this is confirmed, I think look at that signature. That looks like somebody who's been severely injured and his hands is shaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one on the left.
So
the one on the left.
Yeah, the one on the left, it looks like it's not forgery. I mean, it could be not forgery. It could be like his hands are shaking. I mean, look at that. Whose signature looks like that? Nobody's signature looks like that. That man is injured and his hands are shaking.
So he's so injured that he aged 15 years in the past 6 months.
Yeah.
So that's number one. And then we have the IRGC commander in charge of Tehran, and he's come out and said, I think this was about 48 hours ago, he's come out and said that we are worried about a popular uprising during this period, and we will maintain all of the checkpoints and all of the patrols that we have been. Keep in mind, a lot of these patrols are old men and children. So it looks like he came out in a speech and said that, yes, we are worried. We are worried.
Be worried.
Yep. So yep, and then there was a mine. There was a mine in the Strait of Hormuz. There it is. If you see that red line on the bottom, that's the route that the Americans have been using to get ships across. And you can see it's the furthest point away from the IRGC rocket launchers. And then
It's like
that's the
squeezing right
route.
through. It's like you know, you get a like small opening through the door, and like just squeeze right through.
Yeah, literally. So
Oh my god.
this mine, there's a little tiny pin dot, right? That red pin dot, that's where the mine is. So that was real close to
Oh my
the
God.
American situation
no.
there. It's actually almost
So
only 1,000 meters. And this is the only one that they've been able to see.
So man, squeezing right through, like, and on your left windows, if you look, you will not be able
There it
to
is.
see it, but there's a mine right fucking there.
If we hit it, we will all die. Just want you guys to know that.
Oh my god.
And so speaking about the Strait of Hormuz, remember how the IRGC made the Persian Gulf Strait Authority? They made that organization.
Yeah.
So this organization has come out and said, if you want to get through the Strait of Hormuz, you need to let us know 48 hours in advance. Give us your contact information, your voyage details, where you're going, where you're coming from, what you have in your ship, and everything, all the data. Then we will coordinate. We will tell you when to go, where to go to get through the Strait of Hormuz. After 60 days, then we will start charging fees. So in this 60-day period, we're not charging fees, but we're going to keep track of all your info. We're going to have everything that you have done. We're going to keep track of all of it so that when you come back, we know exactly who you are and we will charge tolls.
Okay.
So that's what they're saying.
That's
and then quick little weird Turkey update, guys. So let me show you guys this picture real quick. Guys, Turkey, remember I told you guys last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I lose track of time. Turkey was like using artillery to bombard Iraq, a mountain in Iraq. Okay, so it looks like they were trying to take that mountain for themselves, that mountain as a base, and they did. So Turkey has now established and built a road for their military to connect the bases that they have built. So in northern Iraq, there are 139 Turkish military bases. The depth of these bases reach 100 kilometers inside of Iraqi territory, and they have 3,500 soldiers amongst these 139 bases. So Turkey has done some significant pushes into Iraq here.
But why?
They're trying to be a player. They're trying to grab more. And they're probably trying to get to the Kurds at this point.
Okay. What the fuck? I haven't even noticed that's happening in the background.
Yeah. So yesterday, Iraq has fired or is starting to fire 50 generals who are associated with the militias. At the same time, Iraq is quietly pushing into Iraq, and no one's really talking about it. So
why is nobody talking about it? This is crazy. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think I was the only one who talked about how Turkey was shooting inside of Iraq a couple weeks ago with artillery, like heavily bombarding them.
Sure. Yeah,
So,
the Ottoman Empire, they're rising. They're bringing back the Ottoman Empire. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Weird stuff. So, yes, the Russian part.
Russian,
Which
yes,
video?
please. Ukraine.
There's some,
we're
there's some
overtime for
good.
this.
Yeah. Oh, lastly, while I find that, I want you guys to look at this. I mean, look at this.
What the fuck? Oh my god. This is a recruiting message inside Iran for people to go fight for defend Hezbollah.
$1,000.
$1,000?
Yep.
Guys, you saw that? They're giving inside Iran, they're putting posters in the wall offering people $1,000 to go fight and defend Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Okay.
Oh my
so,
God! Yes. Pause. No, go back.
Oh,
Let's see. Hold on here
Let's
now.
go back. Where is it? There it is.
Okay, so monthly payment. That's actually big for
Yeah.
like Iranian for inside Iran. So monthly payment of $1,000. You get food, a place to live, and all the equipment you need, and you also get training. So you don't even need to know what you're doing. You get Oh, you also get the chance to go up the rank. So the initial salary is going to be $1,000 a month. You get a place to live, you get food, and you also get full equipment, and you get training, and you get an opportunity to climb ranks. If so, anybody from Iran could go tell the IRGC that I want to go fight in Lebanon for Hezbollah, and they'll take you there.
Yeah, I don't know. If
Wow. Can you
Hezbollah
send
was
that to
so
me?
strong, yeah, of course. If Hezbollah was so strong, why would they need to start recruiting in the streets of Tehran for anyone to go there?
Right,
How
they're
strange.
recruiting in the streets of Tehran to go to Lebanon and fight for Hezbollah. Yeah, you get a free beeper as well. Yeah, also part of the equipment is a free beeper.
So, when it comes to Russia, this is what Moscow is trying to deal with. Okay, so this guy on the right side of that video is a Russian soldier with a man pad, and he's trying to intercept a Ukrainian drone. This is Moscow.
What? What
Yeah,
the
so
fuck
that's
was
the
that?
drone. That's the drone up there. The man pad completely went to the right. So look,
Oh my God.
the man pad just goes to the right there. It just goes out of frame to the right. You see? Because the trajectory was supposed to go straight, right? But it goes completely to the right, and then we can see the drone just flying by.
Oh
Now,
my God,
where
these
may
people
that
are
drone have
insufferable.
gone? And what could it have done? So that's the Ukrainian anti-air defense, right? Let's show you guys the Ukrainian anti-air defense.
No, so that was a Russian. That was a Russian, right?
Oh, sorry, that was Russian anti-air defense.
So
which
that was
failed.
that was a Russian. That was the Russians trying to take down a Ukrainian drone. So now let's look at Ukrainians trying to take down a Russian drone. Okay.
By the way, these are hand-launched interceptors that they've built custom, and they cost $1,000.
That looks so good. Oh my God. Whoa! No fucking way. Oh my God. What the fuck?
That drone that they
is-
just shot down is a Shahed drone variant that the Russians have built,
Oh
and it
my-
costs between $20,000 to $25,000. This interceptor costs $1,000.
So he spent $1,000 to take down a $25,000 Shahed drone.
Yep.
Guys, this complete. I want to see that again. You don't go away. That was so fucking beautiful. Guys, do you understand that the whole point of Shahed drones was that they cost $25,000, and the missiles that were supposed to take them down would cost millions of dollars, right? So now everything has changed. Now you spend only $1,000, and the Shahed drone cost $25,000. That was $25,000 destroyed with $1,000. Wow. They flipped the script. Like, oh, it looked like asymmetric warfare, like the Islamic Republic. Like, oh, asymmetric. You spend millions on our drones, and our drones is only $25,000. How about $1,000? How about $1,000, motherfuckers? Fantastic, amazing work. That was beautiful,
Guys, by the way,
wow.
What the Ukrainians just shot into the air cost between 1,000 to 2,500 per unit. The Shahed drone that the Russians have costs between 20,000 to 70,000 per unit. So 1K to 20K, or 2,500 for 70,000. So that's 20 to 1. You're getting a 20 on 1 return on investment. And so the Russians have been getting hammered so badly, and their interceptors are so freaking bad, and I mean so freaking bad, that this has happened. This right now, this trail that you can see, this is a Russian interceptor missile. It's a Russian interceptor missile. When you watch the video, remember, this is a Russian interceptor. So that's Moscow. That's Moscow. And yeah, see this little missile streaking across the sky? That's a Russian interceptor, and it fails to not only did it fail to hit the Ukrainian drone, but it hits the top of an oil refinery unit, and that lid gets blown up into the air. Now, by the way, this is not the first time that things like this have happened. Constantly, the Russian interceptor drones or missiles actually hit apartment buildings in Russia because they fail to hit the drones, and then they just go straight into people's houses. And they've killed a lot of Russians. Poor Russian people, honestly. They're just stuck with this dictator. And this is another angle.
And to think Putin thought that they could take all of Ukraine in like 3 days.
3 days. Yeah.
3 days. Slava Ukrainian. Oof. Whoa. It looks like an alien invasion or something.
Yeah, so Russia's been hammering all of their oil refinery infrastructure, which means that Russia is not selling oil, which is their entire economy, which means that they can't really help the Islamic Republic, even if they wanted to.
Yeah, guys, remember I told you yesterday, Russia is actually importing fuel for the first time ever. So embarrassing. You couldn't even take advantage of high oil prices. Unbelievable.
You know, James actually reminded me of the oil clouds above Moscow. So because so much of their oil infrastructure has been hit, they actually kind of look like what Tehran used to look like during the war with the oil.
What is this?
This is Moscow.
Wow. Holy shit, man.
Yep. This is what Tehran used to look like as well. And so, yes, there is oil rain, but fret not, but worry not, because the Russian Ministry of Health has declared that the air is not filled with toxic carcinogens more than a acceptable amount.
Sure looks like it.
Yeah.
Chocolate tree.
More than an acceptable amount. Well, so yeah, they're definitely not going to come and start helping and investing in the Islamic Republic. That's not going to happen.
Hope to see those Putin approval rates plummet soon. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that seems to be it for today.
I just hope that the CCP ends up being, if the CCP ever wants to invade Taiwan, I just hope that they're as much of a paper tiger that Russia proved to be against Ukraine.
I also hope they do it before or after Iran's free. Let's just focus on Iran. Let's get them free. Because if China starts their invasion, then that's going to pull a lot of U.S. attention and troops and everything towards that. Someone's asking, so when is the negotiation, Addy? Is it on Sunday? No. So apparently Witkoff just arrived in Switzerland, is what a U.S. official stated today. But the Iranian the Islamic Republic is not there. They're just not there.
Yeah, they showed up, and they apparently it was very expensive to set everything up. And the Islamic Republic just didn't show up. You're attacking Hezbollah, so we're not going to show up.
Yeah, even though they told Hezbollah to attack Israel, then Israel responded. And they're like, "Oh, Israel,
yeah.
Zionist aggression. We're not talking anymore."
Yeah, you're right. Like Hezbollah attack Israel. Israel responded, "We're not showing up to the negotiation."
Strait of Hormuz is closed again. Call off the 60-day talks. No more nuclear. No more nothing. Who saw that coming?
No negotiations. Okay, yes. Anyways, okay, we gotta go. I'm gonna have to go. So let's end the stream now, guys. Subscribe and hit the bell notification because we go live often, and make sure you don't miss it. So subscribe, notification bell, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Okay, thank you guys, and we'll see you same time tomorrow. And until then, I'm Israel Chai. Oh, especially today, and no, actually, especially today for Am Israel Chai, and also especially today from Slava Ukrainian, and then Cuba Libre, Long Live America,
Long Live America, Javid
Shah, Payande, Iran.
Iran.
See you guys same time tomorrow.